You're listening to Venturing Costa Rica. Today we will be podcasting on the beautiful country of Costa Rica. Costa Rica, among many other Latin American countries, has its own reputation and style of music. One of our genres of music we spoke about for the past couple of weeks in class has been cumbia, also very known in Costa Rica as well. Costa Rica seemed appropriate to draw a parallel between one of the most important styles of music genres we learned about. Costa Rica, known for many things, whether it is a vacation spot for foreigners or having the reputation for being smaller than Lake Michigan, alongside having an adverse musical history. Let's get started and introduce you to the wonderful country of Costa Rica.
Hello, my name is Stephanie, and I'll be talking a little bit about Costa Rica's early history that contributed to shaping its culture and musical styles. In 1502, Christopher Columbus was the first European that arrived in Puerto Limon, Costa Rica, where an estimate of 200,000 indigenous people already lived. He assumed Costa Rica was wealthy and filled with gold. Many conquistadores sought wealth, but many did not succeed. Many died because they found the steam of the jungle unbearable. The coastal lowlands were inhabitable, but were fertile. Those who seeked gold found themselves pursuing a life of farming instead. The indigenous faced slavery, genocide, and disease as well. Around the 1560s, the colonists settled in the cooler areas of the central highlands of Cartago. Costa Rica was ruled under the control of Captaincy General of Guatemala. The Spanish found that Costa Rica was unimportant since it was far from the district and did not contain gold. Costa Rica was split between the imperialists who wanted to join Mexico and the Republicans who wanted to be independent. The cultivation of coffee helped transform Costa Rica. As centuries passed, the territory found itself in conflict between joining Mexican territory while some natives wanted to remain an independent country. This conflict led to the Battle of Ochomongo in April 1824, which resulted in Costa Rica becoming an independent country. Costa Rica, with other Central American provinces, declared independence from Spain. Juan Morra Fernandez established a judicial system in 1824 as the nation's first chief of state. He encouraged the cultivation of coffee by giving land to the farmers. As you can see, Costa Rica has the rich cultural history, but more than anything, its musical history is missed upon when introduced.
Hello, my name is Riley Calabretta, and I'm eager to introduce you to Calypso style music in Costa Rica. Calypso is often misrecognized as reggae style music, which is understandable since they both originate from Jamaica. Some of Calypso's most recognizable instruments include, but are not limited to, the trumpet, trombone, flute, clarinet, saxophone, classical guitar, bass guitar, and congas. Typical reggae instruments, on the other hand, often include the bass guitar, classical guitar, drum kit, electric organ, piano, synthesizer, bongo, and tape delay. Calypso Rose, also known as Calypso Queen, was an extremely influential female artist for Costa Rican calypso. To grasp a better understanding of this music, I will play a section of one of her earlier songs called Do Dem Back.
This is Caribbean Vibes.
This song expresses the difficult lifestyle for women in this area. Most regions, Costa Rica included, in Latin America, are male-dominated, but Rose speaks out for equality of women in her music. Her most recent song, Leave Me Alone, also spreads the idea that women can stand up for themselves and have power to be their own person, rather than be controlled by men. I will leave you with this fun fact. Disney won the most original music in 1989 for The Little Mermaid's Under the Sea, which is actually a calypso musical rhythm.
Hello everyone, my name is Diana, and I will continue to talk about the beautiful genre of calypso.
The style of calypso music arises from the traditions of the West African slaves that were being brought to the Caribbean. The slaves during this time used this style of music to communicate, tell stories, express their current situation, to often mock their slave owners, or to express humor. It was through this style of music that they were able to express what they were going through. Calypso was introduced to Costa Rica by the immigrants that lived on the Caribbean coast. And my colleague Riley mentioned the various instruments used in the creation of calypso music. The combination of these various instruments and their rhythms results in a very cheerful and relaxing sound that you can dance to. One of the most famous calypso artists that reflects this sound in Costa Rica is Walter Ferguson, also known as the King of Calypso. Walter Ferguson was born in Panama but was raised in Cahuita, which is a village in Costa Rica located near the Panama border. When Ferguson moved to Costa Rica, he lived part of his childhood in Limon, Costa Rica, with his aunt to learn how to read, write, and learn more about music. And it was in this city where Walter Ferguson was introduced to calypso-style music, and it's where he began to fall in love with the tradition of calypso, and he began to write his own songs and learn how to play this unique style. Ferguson's music tells stories about his everyday life, the life in Panama, and the community of Cahuita and Limon in Costa Rica. He is well known for creating lyrics that bring joy to people, and he himself in an interview even said that he does not write lyrics about anything that is sad or bad. He likes to have music that is joyful, that everyone can listen to and smile about. He likes to keep his music positive. All his songs express a cheerful or humorous story of people and events that he has encountered throughout his lifetime. And one of his most well-known songs is titled Cabin in the Water, where he simply talks about a man named Mr. Bota who built a cabin in the water and how a woman perceives him. And I will be playing a few seconds of the song.
I say this modern generation every day, the people getting smarter. They made me to understand, but to be like cabin in the water. The people made me to understand, but to be like cabin in the water. Oh, the cabin in the water, Mr. Bato the Hatter. He was a fine constructor, really never knew the bugger was a builder. Oh, the cabin and the cabin.
So the main instrument played in this song is the guitar. And as you can see, it reflects what Ferguson stands for, which is just positivity and just everyday life in Costa Rica. Walter Ferguson has been such a big influence in calypso style in Costa Rica that in 2010 they started a yearly festival called El Festival de la Cultura y el Ambiente Walter Ferguson, which celebrates calypso music and all the influence that Walter Ferguson has had, because he is someone who was able to spread calypso music from Costa Rica to other parts of the world. Calypso music has had a major influence in Costa Rica and has spread its unique rhythm and sound throughout the world by the artists such as Walter Ferguson and Calypso Rose, which my colleague Riley had mentioned. It resembles and defines part of Costa Rica, and according to Tico Times, which is an English news outlet based in Costa Rica, in 2012 the government gave special recognition to calypso music and made it part of Costa Rica's cultural and historical identity. Hello again. I'm here to inform you about Costa Rican reggae. A great band called Bombacelo was formed in 2001. They were the first to translate Bob Marley's music from English to Spanish, sharing the unique reggae style and lyrics with Central America. Reggae has strong African roots, and much of this music came from the slave community. Like most music among slaves, reggae style originally served to create a sense of identity for imported slaves. Future generations used reggae music to share the experience of life in Costa Rica. Most of Bamacelo's music shares typical, political, and conscious reggae messages of rebellion and social change. An example of a political message in Costa Rican reggae includes the hit Corrupt Politicians, which clearly demonstrates the band's opinions on the flawed political system.
Hi, I'm James and I'll be talking about the Costa Rican folkloric music. Costa Rican folkloric music can vary depending on the influences at hand. The three influences in the folkloric music of Costa Rica are indigenous, African, and European. The instruments played can vary from each influence and the type of folk music. Indigenous influence folk music, for example, uses el cajongo, a single-stringed instrument, el huque, percussion instrument made from a gourd, la acarina, and la chamiria, a type of clarinet made from wood or clay. The most popular instrument in Costa Rican folkloric music is the marimba, and then there are the other instruments that usually accompany it, such as the guitar, accordion, violin, percussions, etc. The purpose of folk music was to conserve the culture, lifestyle, and ideology from one generation to the next, or tell a story about the lives of the people of that generation. One of the hotspots or powerhouses for folkloric music of Costa Rica is in Guanacaste. The folkloric music of this area had different influences, and the marimba had different styles, such as puntos, tambitos, callejeras, and paranderas. The dances that usually accompanied the folkloric music were generally old world flourishing, and dancers typically wore traditional costumes. Some of the popular dances were punto guanacasteco and los amores de laco. The people generally danced to music like this.
Allá en el monte junto a las nubes, junto al arroyo, tengo mi rancho hecho de paja lleno de amores. Mis 4 vacas, mi potro blanco son mi tesoro y una morena.
This is what folkloric music of Costa Rica generally sounded like for the most part. The composer's name for this particular song is Mario Chacon Segura, and his song is about Costa Rica and the people's love for the land and how they would do anything for it. Another known composer's name is Guadalupe Urbina of Costa Rica, and her song's title is Madre de la Mar, and it was about her thoughts of the spiritual path that she inherited from feminine principles implanted in her Mesoamerican ancestry. Another little fact to mention is that it was very rare, at least in the past, to find popular female composers, but rather more community-centered female composers. These two artists shared their thoughts and community situations through their songs and expressed it to the world. This is the impact of folkloric music in general, and in Costa Rica in this case, which is to bring the people together and enjoy the music and its story, experiences, and culture, also sharing it to the world for foreigners to better understand the people of Costa Rica.
Hey everyone, I'm Melanie, and today I'll be introducing the genre of cumbia alongside my colleague Robert. Now, one of the most popular genres of music in Latin America, cumbia originated in Colombia in the 1600s. It's distinguished by its simple dupla meter and maintains a steady tempo over the duration of its songs. Some characteristics of cumbia include a syncopated melodic line that relies on reiteration. The cool thing about cumbia is how it is rooted in tri-ethnic heritage, Africa, Europe, and the indigenous population of Colombia. Traditional cumbia emerged as a blend of African-derived rhythms using drums and performance practices with the sound of indigenous instruments such as gaitas. European influences would then be seen when lyrics are added to the beats to create the songs we know now. The term cumbia refers to the ensemble that plays for the dance, to the music that is performed, and to the dance itself. Cumbia was traditionally performed and danced by people of lower and working class status, but has now gained popularity among all people. The lyrics typically venture from topic to topic, as there is no definite focus, though they usually speak about love or having a good time. The instruments include idophones such as the gaita and caña de milo, membranophones like tambor, bombo, guache, and the llamador. It can be seen danced and performed in street settings at festivals and carnival celebrations. A popular cumbia group from Costa Rica is Calle Ocho. They are one of the most recognized groups of Central America. Rina Vega has been the only female vocalist of the group Calle Ocho for the past 10 years. One of their most popular songs is Lágrima por Lágrima.
Because Costa Rican cumbia borrows heavily from Colombian cumbia, the major tenets are pretty much identical. The beat and the instruments such as the various drums, maracas, and the gaitas can be heard in both styles of music. Additionally, what differentiates Costa Rican cumbia from that of any other is their dancing style, the swing criollo. Originating in the 1950s as a fusion between American swing dancing and Costa Rican dance movements, it is theorized that the swing criollo was introduced by native truck drivers traveling back and forth between the countries. Soon enough, the dance began showing up more and more in the city's dance halls, usually in the impoverished urban neighborhoods. After some time, Costa Rican natives began adding their own culture and flavor to the swing dance, ultimately resulting in the swing criollo they have today. It is primarily used in dancing cumbia, whether by native or neighboring artists, and serves as the embodiment of Costa Rican identity and soul. It is paired hand in hand with cumbia and represents their national spirit, and most importantly is a reflection of the impoverished community that started it all.
As you can see, Costa Rica is a country infused with a rich musical culture. Costa Rica, among other countries, is a part of why Latin American countries should be appreciated more. We hope we have enlightened your knowledge of what Costa Rica has to offer as a Latin American country in its musical industry.